Hello everyone, this is Chris Surface here with SDI course FTE 217. We're on week 5 assignment. For this assignment, for part 1 here, we're going to perform a dry functions check, with dummy ammunition, and I'm going to tell you about what you're looking for during a live fire functions check. So the first thing we're going to do, since we have a firearm here, we're going to verify that it's empty, clear. I've got the bolt to the rear. As you can tell, there's no ammunition in there. There's no magazine inserted, and the magazine I have has no rounds in it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and send the bolt forward, verify it's on safe, and then I'm going to attempt to pull the trigger, and nothing should happen. Nothing happened. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put the selector to fire, squeeze the trigger, you should hear it fire, you hear the click. Now from here, we're going to keep the trigger pulled to the rear. Now we're going to pull the bolt to the rear, set it forward, and then as I let off the trigger, you should hear the audible click of the sears re-engaging. So there's the click. So now we know all that is functioning as it should. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and check our magazine to make sure the magazine works. Alright, magazine's in. It's locked in place. Locks the bolt to the rear. Let's see if it drops the magazine out. Magazine drops out. Bolt release works and sends it forward. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to test this with dummy ammunition. I got 3 rounds here. And during this, we're going to make sure it is feeding, locking, unlocking, and ejecting. We want to make sure all those steps are happening. So now I got the 3 in there. We're going to go ahead and put it in. I'm going to rack in my first round. My round's in. Alright, first we're going to check see if it is ejecting and unlocking. It ejected and locked, slung it off the table. Now you want to make sure it's still going to fire, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on fire. Squeeze the trigger. It's working. Again, we do the same thing we did earlier. Go forward. And then we're going to go ahead and check this one. Well, it misfit. It did not feed properly. I'll have to actually troubleshoot that and get that out of there. Alright, so now the magazine's empty, bolt locked to the rear. Checked, and bolt back forward. Alright, so now we're done with that. I'll have to look at this a little bit later. I believe it just needs some lubrication and stuff on it. It's so new, it doesn't want to chamber stuff very well. So I need to clean it up and do some lubrication to it. Alright, so now when it comes to the firing portions of it. So when we actually go to a live fire range and fire it, we want to make sure that it's doing everything it just did. We want to make sure it's actually loading the live rounds, it's firing the rounds, and while it's firing, we also want to make sure there's enough gas that comes back that sends the gas to the gas tube to the gas key, causes the bolt to go to the rear, which unlocks the locking lugs, ejects or extracts the round, ejects the round, and also when it comes back forward, it strips another round from the magazine, chambers it, locks the lugs back in place, and makes it fire again. And that's pretty much what we're looking for through the live fire functions checks. Alright, so while I was test firing with the dummy rounds, I could feel the trigger pull. To me, it seems fairly smooth. I didn't have any problems with it myself, so I don't think there's any issues. I've fired quite a few firearms in my day, and it feels about the same. There's no catches in it, nice smooth all the way there. Maybe a little harder on the trigger pull, like it takes a few more pounds than I would like it to be, but overall I think it's a fairly good feel. Alright, so now we're going to measure the length of the barrel. I have this rod, the cleaning rod that was sent to me. I went ahead and put a rounded piece on the end here so I don't damage the inside. I've got my rifle chucked up in a vise, bolts all the way forward. There's no device on the end of my muzzle, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put this in. Be careful not to damage anything. I'll push it all the way down to the bolt. It's all the way as far as it'll go. We'll take a pencil and mark right where it's at. And with that being marked, pull it out, measure from the end to that, and that will give us our barrel length. So that way we know if we are legal or not. This one puts me at 18 and looks like 7/16. 18 7/16. Alright, for part 4 we're going to go ahead and measure the barrel twist. I got it chalked up here in my vise, got the bolt removed, and I've got my spinning rod here along with a patch on this. We're going to put it in here. As soon as we put it in here, we're going to find out where it starts engaging the barrel. As soon as it starts engaging the barrel right there, we're going to make a mark. Then we're going to note which way our flag is. Our flag's pretty much down, so what we're going to do is we're going to push this forward, and when this makes one full revolution, then we're going to stop it and mark. We're halfway there. So that right there is approximately one full revolution. I'll mark it again. Push the rest of the way through. Going off. We'll back this out and we'll measure the distance between the two lines. And on here it looks like 11. So 1 and 11 twist. So it looks like we have for this one. Alright, so part 5, we're going to go test the headspace. I have the extractor and the ejector removed from the bolt carrier, or from the bolt. Now we're going to put this in here. We're going to check and see if this is our go gauge, and we got our no go gauge there. We're going to see if it will close with it in here. So first thing we're going to do, slide the bolt in. Again, with our go gauge, it should be flush. All right, that's flush. We're going to go ahead and pull this out. All right, now it's time to try the no-go. Here's the no-go. And with the bolt in, it'll be sticking out. This is showing the headspace right there that this will not work. So it fits with the no-go, or fits with the go and does not fit with the no-go. All right, so for part 6, we're going to do firing pin protrusion on here with the bolt out of the bolt carrier group and the firing pin out as well. We're going to go ahead and put the firing pin inside the bolt. We're going to make sure it sticks out. We're going to use our protrusion gauge here, kind of lock it in place, and then we're sitting on here and loosen it so it actually moves the pin inside and tighten it down. So that's how much our firing pin is actually protruding. So what you'll do on that is you'll actually measure the outside distance, which I got a 0.671. So I'll write that down, 0.6710. And then I'll go ahead and reset this back to where it was, the normal. Then I'll remeasure it again, see what this is. And this is a 0.630. So subtracting that, you get 41 thousandths of an inch is our firing pin protrusion.